Good morning. This is the morning of day 2. We're on Grass Lake on the Nipissing River. So yesterday was took a little longer than we expected. We got into this campsite really late, but we still did everything we needed to do. We had a fire, we had cooked up our full tenderloin and twice baked potatoes, and we just didn't catch a lot of that on film because we were behind the 8 ball. We were all very wet, so we got everything hanging up on the clothesline, but it's still going to be wet for this morning. Hasn't even seen the sun yet. So yeah, it was a good end to a tough day, and kind of rewarded everybody. I let everyone sleep until 8 o'clock this morning. But we do need to get up. We need to make breakfast, and we need to get on the road. I think today is one of our, maybe the second or third longest day of the trip. We are headed east and north on the Nipissing River, past the Highview cabin, and we're staying at the Nid-Nod Portage on the Nipissing River. I think that's what it's called. So we still got a lot of kilometers to do today. So we're trying to be on the water by 9:30, and then even if it's a 12-hour day, we're still arriving in daylight. Morning Thunderbox review. So far, presentation, probably a 5. Obstructed view of the river. Yeah, in fairly good shape. So it's a decent distance from the campsite, nothing crazy. I'm gonna give it a 5.5. At least 5.5. One sit review. Just packed up all the boats here. Just checking the campsite, making sure we didn't leave anything. Try and leave it cleaner than we found it. It's a beautiful morning, but it is not sunny. So yeah, we're going to be heading down the Nipissing River. We got quite a paddle here in the morning. A series of small portages throughout the day, a couple obstructions here and there. And I think the biggest portage is the last one of the day. I think it's 100 that splits, and then it's an 875 past Highview.
So this is all brand new. There's your geese.
That every day. This river is amazing. Now that the alder's behind us, this is what we've been dealing with all morning. Just gorgeous. Okay, so we're at the first portage of the day, 365 nip to nip, and it says High Dam. It honestly looks like you could either run it or walk it, and then it goes around, so it's blind around the corner. But it honestly doesn't look too bad. So we're gonna do the portage and see how it goes. Okay, we're on 365 Nipissing around marked on the map as High Dam. You can hear it to my left. We have a series of little portages. I'm assuming they're all gonna look very similar to this. Kind of rocky, lots of ferns. This is a nice little spot. Winds its way around this corner. A beautiful spot. And it looks like we wind our way around that far shore.
We got to the bottom of the High Dam on the Nipissing, and just took a couple of videos of Evan trying to fish out there, and all I can say so far is that it's quite rocky because he's managed to catch a snag on 98% of his casts. Ryan loaded up the boat while I was taking some video. Great little Sherpa. And now I think we're gonna get going. You get in at it on the right, or you gotta go over it?
We might be able to get under that. Oh, this is the moment of truth. I don't know if the camera's gonna clear or not. Just.
High water actually made that a little more difficult than it needed to be. So we believe we're approaching the back-to-back portages, the 90 meter. Yeah, there's a blaze there. 90 meter and 100 meter. Water is really high on this trip, so we're gonna kind of scout it, and I'm assuming we should be able to.
You want to pull up and scout?
No. You guys want to go first?
No, I'm going to scout.
Yeah, it doesn't actually look too bad. There is one big rock right at the end. Just don't know how much speed we're gonna generate before that point. So I'll kind of hang back here and watch these guys.
It looks steep, but my problem is on this left side. If we come into that left side, there's another rock so that big rock you can see, right behind it, there's another rock that looks jagged, pointed this way. Because we won't be able to get slowed down enough to get into the only channel that we could go through.
So we've elected to actually go back here and do the portage.
So now we're just walking down the 90 meter portage on the Nipissing. The adventure, this person inside of me, really wanted to run that. We just couldn't, from where we were sitting in the boats, looking at the water, find 100% true line down it. Because we have Kevlar boats that are pretty weak, if you hit anything, and we're, a day and a half into an 8-day trip, breaking a boat right now wouldn't be the best. It wasn't really worth it to risk damaging one of the boats just to save 6 or 8 minutes of portaging.
We probably made a good call at the top. You can get through here fine, but it's a bit of a boulder garden here at the end, and that big rolling rock there kind of prevents you from going anywhere really. But this section of river is beautiful. Nice and wide. It's not raining today, which is good. The put-ins and takeouts are not ideal, but that's typical river travel.
I took a spill back there with the bag.
Ooh.
Landed right on the front of it.
Uh-oh.
I feel fine, but I can't say the same for the sighting. I didn't hear a break.
Can't really see your footing, eh?
No.
This is the bottom end of the 110 Nipissing to Nipissing. Bye guys. Probably maybe an hour's worth of paddling and waggling through the river. Then another campsite on the left. And then we get into a series of small portages as we approach Highview. And then there's some really big white pines dotting the shore every now and again. Couldn't ask for a better day on the river. So we finally made it to that campsite. Clearly marked this one. So we're gonna just stop in here. We're gonna have a bit to eat for lunch, which we're probably looking at like between 1 and 2 in the afternoon probably. Have a bag of lunch and then we're back on the river. Alright, we're approaching the 30-meter portage. I don't think we're gonna be walking this one. I don't see much, and I don't really want to get everything out of the boat and load the boat back up to do 30 meters, so if anything we're going to line her down.
To the left of that rock and then just squeak in between those two and then hope we don't hit anything hard.
I think the plan now is just get up in there, maybe hop out and just line the boat down.
Just this, there's one like boulder in the way right at the end. There. We did the 30. It probably took us just as much time as it would have to actually do the 30, but a lot more exciting.
We're in between the 30-meter portage and the 155, and hopefully the fishing's good on this bottom end of this dam. All right, so we're on the 155. It's a tricky put in. Very steep, very deep water, and then you go straight up on the portage, and now we're working our way back down. This is the bottom end of the 155. That's something. Oh, party foul right at the boat. This portage here is basically 3 portages. 100 meter to a junction, and then to the left it goes to Gibson Lake, to the right back to the Nip. So I gotta make sure I get on the right one. I'm assuming it's clearly marked. Quite some time now I've wanted to go to the Highview cabin. 4 or 5 years now we've been making a point to try and make loops in the park that take us to cabins. There have been quite a few so far. Paid a heavy price to get to some of them, like Birchcliff. And the Highview cabin's been on the list for a while. It also is not super easy to get to. It basically requires this sort of trip that we're on. So I'm glad we're finally able to strike it off the list. It's a beautiful little meadow. Seemed promising. Once you continue on, very easy portage, by the way. The Highview cabin. So excited to see this place. Looks like a fairly new roof. Pretty happy right now. I was just saying, we've wanted to come here for a while.
Yeah, and on the map it doesn't look like you'd be able to see anything, but it actually makes sense they put it here as a great view. Sweet set of moose antlers.
Oh, this is nice.
Something was rummaging around in here.
Yeah, it's got a pretty good smell of like mouse poop. That's nice. Big, nice wide table. 4 bunks. And Peak was here. Looks like twice. So off the back side of the cabin, appears to be kind of dilapidated, but a bit of an outhouse. Technically, we're not allowed to camp here due to COVID, but Rich twisted his ankle yesterday and actually twisted it getting out of the boat on this portage. So he's kind of hobbling around a bit. It's getting late in the day. Can't really tell on camera. But I think we're just going to stay here. Get a nice fire going, get all of our gear that's soaking wet, sleeping bags, everything, get that dried out, and it'll just set us up for a much nicer trip, and hopefully give Rich a bit of time to get his leg right. But we did bring disinfectant wipes, so if we, in the morning, what we should do is just wipe everything down. No one else should be using it either, but if in case somebody stops here in an emergency like us, at least we've wiped it down. Ryan's been working away, rehydrating tonight's dinner. What we got, Ryan?
Homemade beef stew.
Whiskey fireside chat. Missed last night.
It's more like a whiskey fireside interrogation. 95% sure I have a sprained ankle.
Yeah, that's been a bit of a bummer.
Well, some of the portages around the river are very rocky, and that food bag makes it hard to see your footing because it's strapped at the front of you, plus it's very heavy. You've got forward momentum going. If you get a little stumble, that thing just hauls you down. Then, because we've had so much rain, stuff's washed out, it's muddy. So
How many tumbles have you had, Rich?
3? 2? 3?
2 good ones, I think.
Two for sure.
Yeah. How's the fishing been?
Whoa. I caught like a brook. Like, I don't want to do a fish story, but it was like at least like this big. So.
Yeah.
Low lights, easily probably slipping and falling in the mud. Same thing as Rich, food bag on me, got caught up in the mud. I stepped on, I think, either a rock or a log. And
Yeah, I was like 20 feet away and I heard you go down.
And slap.
Like with the boat on my head. And I heard that and I'm like, I hope he's okay.
It wasn't bad. Mud broke the fall, which was nice.
Just to be clear, Ryan broke 1/6 of our sides. And Ryan doesn't even drink sides. So I just want to make that very clear that that is a substantial proportion of our sides.
To be fair, he also kind of had to pay for it in the fact that it was in his bag, and his bag, his bag smelled like it was an old wino.
When you do the alder, there is a good side. Means not many people are going to do it. So to leave the access point day one from Tim and to get where we did on Grass Lake, like it's almost guaranteed that you're not going to see anyone else. Like us, like if you want just solitude, not running into many people, not fighting for campsites, right? You get on it, you pretty much know for a fact that there's only going to be you in front of you, basically. Tomorrow we're going all the way down to Rolling Dam, which is just before Gautier. So we should have a pick of those campsites, and the weather should be good, so we'll make great time. Well, I love the Nipissing, but it's going to be nice to get off the Nipissing. Ryan and I have been through Whiskey Jack, Robinson. I've been on Burnt Root several times. I love that lake. I love those lakes to get to Burnt Root. They're good fishing lakes. And Red Pine Bay, I absolutely love it.
Maybe get just a smidge of more wood so we can burn the garbage up.
I got bad news, bud.
Ooh, we grabbed all the wood?
You're not jumping at the opportunity to go take a boat.
It's like a
Double entendre.
double entendre.
How is it?
What? fan of the down tree because they're not my favorite after the time I tripped over one and
Snag. I don't know if you can hook the door.
75309 8675309